Hi, I want to talk to you today about getting to preliminary. This is a fantastic book. It's by Elissa Milne. It's a great book because there's so many pieces in here that are wonderful repertoire for children to explore. And this sort of book is a great book to get from course material into more pieces, more A&B type repertoire in preparation for an exam. In fact, many of the pieces in here have been in exam books previously, in other previous exam books, so they're definitely all preliminary. You could definitely do any of these pieces which would be for preliminary exam. There are 4 pieces in this book which are actually on the new manual list, which means you can use these instead of a piece in your Series 18 book or Series 17 book. But I've narrowed it down to about 12. There's something like 20 something songs in here, and I narrowed down to 12 that I really needed to play little bits of for you, so you knew what wonderful treasures were actually inside this book. So let's play some of them, and I'll highlight as I go along whether it's an A and B list piece. So let's get started. So the first piece I'd like to play for you is Fufu's Blues, which is a funny song, isn't it? Funny title. And kids love these sorts of blues type jazzy little pieces, so I thought I'd like this piece. That's a cute little piece. So the next one I liked is Moonlit. So here we've got Fufu's Blues there and Moonlit Pagoda. And this is just a nice little black note piece. I'd like to put a pedal on, although there is some pedal coming in here. But anyway. And we've got some crossover hands things happening here with some lovely pedal coming in. Nice time to try pedal. Okay, this is an exam piece. So this is the first piece in the book that is an exam piece. And Kavalevsky, nice little Kavalevsky piece. And this is really kind of, I think it does sound like a porcupine dance. That'll be quite fun to play, don't you? This is a little piece called Salt and Pepper, and I have got a friend who loves teaching this piece. So I'm going to get him to come in here and talk to us about how he teaches this piece. So I'd like to introduce you to my friend Paul Carrasco, and Paul has been teaching this piece to a number of students of all different ages, and he was telling me about the way he did it and the kind of results he had. So I'd like you to introduce you to Paul and let's have a chat about it.
Thank you for inviting me, Gillian.
My pleasure.
No, I absolutely adore this piece for all ages. When I started to teach again last year, it was a bit of a shock, but I just was amazed by how much AMEB and Australian composers have just created this wealth of new repertoire, and this was one of the very first books that I bought and discovered this Salt and Pepper, which was in the AMEB grade book, and I love it. Just there's so much in it, staccato, rhythm, dynamics, contrast, crossing over the hands, pedaling, so many things, but most especially is the keyboard geography. To be able to have children just traverse the full length of the keyboard, it gives them this incredible feeling of accomplishment. Most children can do it within a single 30-minute lesson, even if they have only been having a limited number of lessons. Some children might do it over 2 lessons where you separate the salt and then tackle the pepper the following week, in which they're so excited because there's repetition that's different, and most importantly although there's repetition, they've still got to follow.
Yeah, and I think when you told me about this, you'd actually taken over some students and you're kind of really looking for that trick to pull out of a bag to kind of excite them again.
Absolutely, except I was just as excited. So I created for our end of year concert, the Salt and Pepper Challenge, where every one of my students, regardless of their age or grade, played it. And I had a number of prizes for best pedaling, best staccato, best overall performance, and it was incredible.
That's a great idea. What a great idea.
Yeah, just the different interpretations.
So actually I wouldn't mind you, because playing it the way, say, some beginner children played it, and then maybe some like the way you saw some more advanced children play.
Absolutely. For the children who are just starting, there was a little bit more caution. So as far as I mentioned, that keyboard geography, so the more and also and then a little bit of hesitation. But as the students became more confident there, so and then the pepper, which is the contrast, and on the black notes. So I mean, it's great.
It's incredibly pianistic piece.
Absolutely, and it just helps so much with note learning, and that feeling of accomplishment. And I remember it was you who once told me, not too many years ago, that when a child comes to a lesson, every lesson they should feel some accomplishment.
Yeah.
And that's why I adore this piece, because every child can achieve it.
So why don't we finish off with you playing it all the way through, as you would hope someone would have played.
Well,
because this is actually in the Series 17 preliminary book, isn't it?
And I think it's List A,
Yeah.
and it's a fantastic first piece into.
Sets the tone, doesn't it?
Absolutely. Thank you.
So here's a little piece called Little Mouse, and it's one of those descriptive pieces that I think is just so apt. It really does sound like a little mouse, and I'm sure the children will really love to play this piece. So here's how it goes. And what's really good about this piece is that the hands are in the same position, so that makes it really easy. They don't move. Nice little piece. Here's a great piece. Etc. I'm sure you heard that piece. Little Jive. Again, not in the syllabus, but this is a fantastic little Kavalevsky piece. Oh, and this is a really good little piece. Okay, now here we come to one of the exam pieces, Gavotta in C. I'm just going to play a little bit for you. Allegretto leggero. Okay, so this is another one of these exam pieces. And this was sort of, we've got the right hand, the melody coming in the right hand here, then the melody goes into the left hand, and then we've got the accent actually coming on a different part of the bar. So it's kind of, it's sort of the same thing, but it's experienced in different ways, which is kind of good. quadrille. Here is another piece that is in the exam. Oh, look at this one. This is like the echo response. And we've got this little Mozart, the minuet in F. And you can leave this octaves out if the children don't have a hand that's big enough for this piece, of course. Here's another one that's been a really great piece over time, and I'm sure this was on the, I used to teach this quite a lot, I'm sure this is on the ABB exam list. So as you can see, this is a fantastic little book that has got just so many great pieces in it. In the back, of course, there are some how to prepare for your exam notes and scales and ear tests and about sight reading that needs to happen and help for sight reading. So all in all, a fantastic book, Getting to Preliminary by Elissa Milne.